Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, and we have some news, an update from Roll20. Remember, Roll20 is Drive-Thru RPG. They are one and the same. AI generated artwork policy updates. If you're going to be publishing on Roll20, especially, you need to read this or hear about it. Hi, all. I'm Dean Bigby, Director of Operations at Roll20. Many of you in the creator community know me from our previous work together back when I was Director of Licensing. The past few weeks have been chock full of conversations about AI generated art, both at Roll20 and within the publishing community. Thank you to the many partners who have reached out to discuss their needs and concerns. Roll20 and Drive-Thru Marketplaces facilitate many thousands of artists, writers, and publishers in the tabletop RPG industry. Our primary goal as a marketplace is to make publishing accessible to as many people as possible. Each creator has unique needs, and they alone know what's best for them to achieve their goals. We don't step into these conversations lightly. As such, I'd like to take some time to give context around our thinking and decision making, especially as our policies continue to evolve, which kind of means that this might not be the end of the conversation. Excuse me. Frankness and transparency are critical for maturing any conversations across the industry. Our approach as a technology company, we intimately understand that stopping technology is impossible. AI generated art is here to stay. Soon, we'll be seeing AI generated RPG material that isn't art, that is an adventure. It's around the block. The challenge with any new technology is finding ways to approach it that empowers communities. We've seen positive outcomes with other tools previously. For example, map generators evolved from a controversial new tech to a popular tool that helps many artists spend less time aligning walls and more time making those walls look awesome. Okay. Isn't that technically a little artificial intelligence going on there? But however, we also recognize the incredibly unique and disruptive potential of AI generated art and take those conversations seriously. When debating new tools, we often ask ourselves some values based questions across multiple cohorts. Here are a few anchors we rely on. Does the tool make creating and playing games more or less accessible to more people? Does the tool inject or undermine value to the creator and customer experience? Does the tool empower or disempower creators and customers? All right, that's interesting. So, uh, I guess this would be in reference to Mid-Journey and things like that. AI generated art performs well in points one and two, especially for GMs and adventure builders looking for additional options to represent themselves and their ideas. However, point two reveals serious risk for visual artists. AI art generators have the potential to be immediately disruptive to an artist economy that has had little time to adapt or respond. It's a valid point. And if you cherish your living, breathing artists, you're a publisher. Now is the time to probably give them a little extra business. Point three also gives us pause. We are bothered by the unresolved questions around the sourcing techniques used by popular AI art generators. Additionally, there is no legal precedent to guide us and no wider industry standard to consider. We are incredibly grateful to all the artists and partners that choose to work with us. Due to our concerns about how they may be affected by this technology, we are amending our Roll20 and Drive-Thru Marketplace policies effective immediately. Okay. Amended interim policy. The new interim AI generated art policy replaces all previous third party and AI generated tool policies. Roll20 defines AI generated art as images created through the use of artificial intelligence algorithms and techniques trained on pre existing datasets. I don't know if the one page dungeon generator falls under that. I, I probably have to ask for clarity on that. Roll20 Marketplace. At this time, the Roll20 Marketplace does not accept any, that's my emphasis, any product that utilizes AI generated art. Drive through marketplaces, including community content programs and supported marketplaces, at this time, drive through marketplaces do not accept standalone artwork products that utilize AI generated art. You cannot sell it as stock art, effectively. At this time, drive through marketplaces require publishers to set their own AI generated artwork policies on game, rulebook, and adventure products. Any products that utilize AI generated artwork must be tagged as such. This places an indefinite pause on most submissions that contain AI generated artwork. As for the allowances given, we'll be working with publishers to build greater consensus on the best paths forward. Simply put, there are so many publishers and creator programs with their own external policies and diverse print and PDF needs that this conversation requires greater collaboration efforts. This does not signal an end to that discussion, but a beginning. We have already begun outreach to our drive-through marketplace partners to consider their own policies, and will continue to follow up. With all that said, we'd like to be very frank about what these decisions mean. Policing artwork is one of the most difficult and time-consuming tasks in this sector. There is no mechanism for determining what is AI-generated versus what is human-made, except maybe the six fingers, the nose halfway across the face, misaligned. There's some hints a lot of times, but it's getting better. It can be virtually impossible to determine what is a homage versus what is theft, even among human artists. We've already seen a marked increase in reports since we launched our interim AI policy, and these investigations increasingly consume the working hours of our support personnel who would normally be assisting creators. Further, many of the reports received do not meet the high bar of proof we require to feel confident in taking action. As such, we will be updating reporting methods by which individuals can report plagiarized or misappropriated art. The reporter will be asked to provide a direct comparison of assets that shows clear proof of infringement or a breach of our policy, and to offer as much contextual information as possible. Our amended policy is intended to address AI art generators as they exist now at the time of this writing. We'd like to leave space to encourage AI art generators to come to market with clearly defined opt-in sourcing parameters. Such technology would be a great resource for these conversations. Legacy products, they're grandfathered in. If you follow the rules before, it's okay. Encouraging human-generated art for small press. We will also begin working with artists to encourage the creation of a greater selection of affordable, commercial use art assets. Small press is always struggling for market share against larger publishers with generous art budgets. We'd like to see small press publishers have more access to art that fits their catalog. Next steps. In the coming weeks, we'll reach out to a selection of publishers, community content owners, creators, digital toolset makers, and GMs. Our goal is to create a small working group where we can engage constructively on the topic of AI-generated artwork to advance the conversation within the tabletop RPG industry with all perspectives represented. As this conversation evolves, we will revisit these policies. This is a complex and rapidly evolving conversation. We believe the policies limiting AI-generated art will over time prove unsustainable. That is interesting. That is, dare I say it, scary. What they're basically saying is that at some point, we're not going to be able to tell AI art from, dare I say it, legitimate human created art. However, we stand by the artists and creators who built this industry until we feel more confident that all parties are prepared, empowered, and have generally aligned around a precedent. We must adjust our stance to support all of our partners as equally as possible. Wow. That's a lot to digest, but effectively, Roll20 / Drive Through RPG is telling you they're a fan of flesh and blood creators, flesh and blood artists, flesh and blood writers, because that's going to be the next update, I'm sure, is going to be about AI writing. Now, if you do use AI art in your product, which is allowable on Drive-Thru RPG, you have to indicate that the art is AI generated artwork. But it's forbidden on Roll20. I'd like to hear some feedback from you folks on this one. Do you think this is too heavy-handed? Do you think this is not heavy-handed enough? Where do you think AI art is heading? And by the way, tip of the hat to Rob Conley. Rob is the one that pointed me in this direction. He gave me the update, and I did a little bit more digging. So thank you, Rob. Really appreciate it. Folks, as always, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. We will be back again tomorrow with some random shite. And, of course, a live stream Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Looking forward to seeing you all then. God bless. Laters.